So, like, to piggyback on your question, we said, when we lost our virginity or when we had sex, but how did you first learn about sex? Like, how was that information given to you? Hey, everybody. This is the Girl UpRising Podcast. And of course, as always, I'm happy to be in the studio, but I'm beaming because today is the day that I actually have a panel. So shout out to my girl Savannah for suggesting that we get a ladies panel. You all already know on the Girl UpRising Podcast, we talk about anything that a girl would face. So that's sex, education, health and beauty, self-esteem, all of that. So if you're ready for today's podcast episode, which you should be, go ahead and get your pen, your coffee, your water, your tea, whatever you're drinking, and let's get going. I am going to briefly introduce, the panel because I want y'all to know who we're talking to. So I have four young ladies on the panel today, and we're talking about everything. So just tune in. So the first young lady that we have is Miss Gigi. If y'all remember, Gigi was on the podcast, like 2 months ago, maybe?
2 months ago, July. So almost 3 months ago.
Okay. Dang, time goes fast. And Gigi is 16. Gigi 17.
17.
Okay.
I turned 17 last month.
Okay. Ooh. Happy belated. Gigi is 17. She is our teen on the panel. And Miss Gigi loves, as you can see, anything where she's showing off her fashion, like that's her. Really, really sweet, really sweet. To the right of her is Crystal. This is Gigi's mama. Listen, straight shooter, right? Straight shooter. And as you can see, dressing is her thing. If y'all remember, I have LaShore on the podcast. Now, LaShore, I've had her on the podcast before, like March or April, one of those months. And LaShore makes handmade goods as well as she does a whole bunch of other stuff too as well. And then virtually, we have just a sweetheart on the podcast. We have Shamika on the virtually, and I'll pin something on one of these sides of Shamika. Shamika is a serial entrepreneur. She owns her own hair studio. She's a mama of 3 and just a lovely person to know, God-fearing. So this is my panel, you all. It's my panel.
We're glad to be here. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for having us. Of course. All right, so on this panel, we're going to talk about just different topics that I know that these young ladies, all they have to do is hear a word and we're going to get the conversation going. So the conversations are meant to be raw. They're meant to be from the heart. And the point of having different young women, different ages, is so that we can learn from each other. I think sometimes when life is life and we think that we're the only ones going through it, and you just don't know how your story can help somebody else. And I think it's good to give people a place to express, because sometimes that's therapy and then other people just need to hear it. So are we ready?
We're ready.
Yes. Ready? Okay. Yes. All right, y'all. So y'all know how this goes. We're going to get right into it. So our first topic is sex. Okay? We're starting off strong. The first topic is sex. So let's talk about this. Listen to this statistic, everybody. So 41% of female teens ages 15 to 19 said they have never had sexual intercourse before. Does that statistic surprise you? And anyone can...
It kind of surprises me. I'd expected, I guess that's almost half and half. With the day and age that we have where social media is rampant and porn is just, a few buttons away and just the influences, with the music, I would expect it to be a little bit more. So I was actually a little bit pleased to hear, wow, there's 40% that are actually, choosing to wait or choosing to just not. I was pleasantly surprised by the statistic.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised.
You were too?
I was very surprised. I thought it would be a little bit more.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah.
When did you?
Married?
Really? You waited?
Yes, I did, but it's like a deeper end of it. I'm a victim of sexual abuse, so you would say with a partner. So yeah.
So how old were you?
19.
You were 19 when you got married, and so that was
but 19 when I got married.
Wow. And Akila?
Okay. Akila was 17. Akila was 17, and that was a traumatic experience for me. Not saying that I wanted or that the goal was to wait until marriage for me. I just felt like I'm gonna keep it. I was like, I'm gonna keep it, and I didn't. And I was just like, everybody was like, you had sex? I was like, I know, I wasn't planning on it, so it really was random for me. Really random. What about you, Shamika? When did you lose your virginity?
I was 15. And I was a preacher's kid. So I just wanted to do whatever I was told not to do. So that was it. I just wanted to, why was I being told not to do it? Let me see what it's about. And when I found out, I was pregnant after that. So
you should see everybody's faces up here when you said that.
Yeah.
When you said that.
I just was a teen mom at 16. And life changed after that. So I should have listened.
Okay. So to piggyback on your question, we said, when we lost our virginity or when we had sex, but how did you first learn about sex? How was that information given to you?
I will give my mom, you said I was a straight shooter. My mom is equally a straight shooter, so maybe it's hereditary. I did not grow up in an environment where the adults tiptoed around anything. I was when I was old enough to ask, my mom told me and she didn't water it down.
Yeah.
Hey, it was penis, vagina, it goes in, you get pregnant, and that's what married people do. And I grew up a Jehovah's Witness as well, so I knew that it was, something to, from a spiritual aspect that you wait. So I never not knew about it. I never not knew. It was never shielded from me. It was not. Yeah, I knew.
You know.
And I was also. Looks like me and Miss Shamika have to. I was also 15, and I also got pregnant.
First time?
No.
Okay.
Now, it was only a couple months. I wasn't in the game very good.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting married in high school.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was 16, married. It went very fast. It was like I lost my virginity in September. I was pregnant by November, and it was you talking about traumatic. It was. And I was always a good kid, honor roll student, Jehovah's Witness, and it was just my mother just really gave me too much freedom. She gave me. It wasn't like she was. When I look back now, I'm like, I can't believe she was really letting me do that. Like, why would it was? To be honest, nothing against her. It was like she encouraged it. I think that she measured self-worth with if boys liked you. I think that she measured worth with that.
Wow.
And of course, she carried that on to me. So, and I'm going to be honest, what really bothered me about that, I don't think that I really necessarily 100% wanted to. And I'm not saying it was, he is something, not saying that. He was a little older, and I kind of feel like, he's my boyfriend, and I kind of have to if you're going to deal with the older boys. And I remember my mom saying 18-year-old boys just don't want to hold hands and kiss.
Yeah. Shamika, you were about to ask her a question?
No, I just was trying to see. She said her mom was okay with it, and what was the last part?
I'm not okay with the sex part. It was as if she was, and let's just say she was naive or ignorant of, because we were Jehovah's Witnesses. I think that she really thought that these boys are exempt from being hormonal boys. I think that she really thought that. To this day, she'll say something like that with like Gigi, like, oh, such and such wouldn't do that, and I go like,
oh yeah, she did say that.
He has a penis.
I was with a guy who went to I went to church with, and so. He was a church boy, and I was with him, and he's not trying to do that.
Yeah. And it's as if she didn't know you were a grandma in your 30s.
Yeah.
He's a boy. He's a young man. Of course, it was just so, everyone doesn't necessarily learn. So, and nothing against her again, but it was just, I always said, I want, if I have daughters, which I did, hey man, I'm not going to be necessarily happy with your choice where you pick a boy and you do that. I'd rather you wait, because I know what happens when you don't. Then you break up, and then you got to start this, this, that, and so forth. But I at least said, if that's what you 100% want to do, like you want that, I would feel better about that than I wanted him to like me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I said I would. I couldn't back down. That's what probably bothered me about the whole situation. That I did feel pressure.
Yeah.
I really did feel pressure.
Yeah. I think that's important. You have to be okay with the aftermath, because you're the only one who has to sit with yourself and think about, like, dang, did I really want to do that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's important. I think a lot of times, especially if you grew up in like a background like Jehovah's Witness or like a Christian background, it's like, just don't do it. Don't have sex. Keep your legs closed. Okay, but if you do, then what? Then what? Like, I think it's important to teach safe sex, right? And just not even what can happen if you having sex with a person, the emotional.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you said something, because out of all when I got pregnant, I wasn't even pregnant yet. Matter of fact, my biological father had pulled up in a parking lot, and he had this long talk with me, and it brought me to tears. And he was the only one who said, listen, it's not just about the diseases or the pregnancy, which I did get pregnant. I was probably pregnant then. He says, you aren't ready to handle emotionally what this is going to. He said, I'm an adult, and I deal with women. Grown women can't handle emotionally what really, really happens when you connect with them. And he gave me like scenarios. What you gonna do when you give it to the next dude, and then he dumps you, and then he has sex with your friend? He's giving me these scenarios, and it was just things you don't think about. Like now you attached to this dude, and he don't want you anymore, or now you want a tolerance, and now you want to know what the next boy feel like, and now you're getting some bodies on you. So it is a lot of we don't talk about the emotional. Can you really, really handle you depression and all that based on the rejection and the abandonment, and also there's a thing, forgive me, I'm going to speak a little bit primitive, there's a thing called post-nut clarity.
Listen,
when it's all said and done,
what
you going to feel like about yourself?
That's the
that
thing.
He got a notch on his belt.
But sometimes some teenagers or young ladies, and I would say this for myself, it didn't feel like a real relationship unless it was solidified by some form of sexual, act. And it's like, even though you perform that sexual act, now you feel like you're tied to this person. So now you feel like you have some sort of ownership to this person, because now you guys are tied together from sex, right? And so that's the thing now with teenagers. Now I'm speaking now in this generation, because my daughter from when I was a child, she's 16 now, and so she's dating a young man now. And this young man, listen, hold y'all seats. This young man, he's an awesome young man. Don't get me wrong. This young man had the audacity. I don't know if he bought it off Amazon on Prime. I don't know where he got it from, but he texted and said, Miss Singleton, I know you guys have church in the morning tomorrow, but I want to know, when you get out of church, can you bring Maya over here so we can spend some time? Baby, I about jumped through the phone and choked them. Because why would I do that?
Listen.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, he said it real respectful, but it's like the audacity was on Amazon Prime on Black Friday. Like, it was just crazy. It was free. I don't know. I was just taken aback, and I was like, no, baby, that's something that I would never do. Bring my teenage daughter to a young man's house. No. No.
We're not condoning it. Like,
you're not. No.
Yeah.
And to be honest, there are plenty of parents that do.
Yeah. Oh,
yes.
I have a friend of mine, a guy friend, and he was like, "Oh, my daughter seems. I just dropped her off," and I was like, "You dropped her off at some guy's house?" I don't care. And I think she was about 16, 17, and maybe she was a little wayward at the time, but I just didn't understand. Like, you dropped her off over why? I don't care if she's already doing it or what, but I'm not condoning it, and it's not happening on my watch that I know of.
Yeah, yeah,
baby.
Yeah, yeah. Even look at 8. Okay, I have a brother that's 2 years older than me, and my dad trained him to be like a hawk. So all the boys, seriously, all the boys knew, do not mess with. They call me Kiki. Don't mess with Kiki. And he would not play that. Even to this day, he's like, But look, that's how he does not play. He doesn't play with me. But at 18, he went to college. I was like, oh, he finally out the house. Like, so my mom would let a boy come over, but it was the living room.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, and I knew not to, don't try to go upstairs. I didn't want to know what my mom would do to me if she came in the house and we were upstairs. Yeah. I wouldn't be here today. I would not be here. It was that respect. I knew you sit on the couch, not too close. Yeah. Not too close, because I knew my mom didn't play, and I respected that. Now maybe outside the house,
but kids don't fear their parents, because parents want to be their kids' friends so bad. My children have enough friends. They need a parent to guide them, because they believe in their young minds, because their minds are not even fully developed, that their thinking process is correct, and it's not. Yeah. It's not logical thinking. And it's like, if we go with what you think, a child mind, they're going to do whatever they want to do, because they're going to feel like they just getting over, and you just letting them. No, ma'am. No. You're not. No, you can't go to his house, her house, they house. No, they can come over here.
So let's segue. Let's get Gigi's point of view.
I was going to ask, what if their parents were there? Like,
about this situation with the boyfriend?
Yeah, like what if she wanted to go to her boyfriend's house and his parents were there?
What'd you say about that, Mika?
If what?
So Gigi, the 16-year-old on the panel, says, what if your daughter's boyfriend, what if his parents were in the home? Does that make a difference?
Well, it doesn't, because I don't know how they parent. I don't know if they have Uncle Pookie in the house and he a pedophile. I don't know if they got Aunt Taylor in the house and she I don't know how they run their household. Everyone runs their household according to what's comfortable for them. The way I run my house, I run a tight ship around here. We run a real tight ship around here. Now listen, you can come around here, you can sit in the sunroom, you can go on the back porch, you can walk around in the backyard and kick the rocks around. I'm not gonna bother you. I'm not gonna do any of those things. But what we're not gonna do is go over there, because I can't see you. I can't lift my glasses up. I can't sniff or smell way over there. I can smell and do all those things here, though. Yeah.
To be honest, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that is, when she said, I don't know how they parent, over here, you in the living room, they might allow y'all to go in the bedroom and close the door.
See, that's what
they might not see a problem with that. Or you hear about a lot of what she said, this uncle that and it would be different if me and those parents had the same type of, if you knew them very well and it was understood. But if I didn't know them, I feel like I wouldn't be comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would need to know, hey, what are the boundaries and the parameters at your house?
Exactly.
Do you think that's acceptable? Like if someone's coming to your house, well, if you ask your mom to go to somebody's house, like, do you feel like being in the living room is acceptable and their parents should be home if you wanted to go?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have children, so I don't make comments on how people like parent, because I don't think I would do that until I had my own children. But I mean, I guess from a teenager's perspective, it just kind of makes you feel left out, because other teenagers, it is innocent and
can be
like, and then all you see on like social media, and social media is fake, but it's just sometimes it'll be like your closest friends, and all you see is just like, oh yeah, in their room. They're not even doing anything, but they're just watching a movie, and he brought over food.
Yeah.
Can I respond to that, please, real bad?
Go ahead.
Oh, please. Listen, Gigi, listen, okay, listen, girl. You and my daughter, y'all the same age, and baby, she tell me that all the time. She be like, my friends do it, but I'm not my friend's parent. I'm not your friend's parent. I'm your parent. So whatever might be innocent that they posted on social media, you don't know what comes after that picture or before that picture. So you can only see what you can see in front of you. Like, it's a lot of stuff that so deceiving with social media that it just burns my toast on both sides. And it's like, it's so, excuse me, it's so, and I try to tell my daughter, listen, we live in a world where danger is real, okay? So even if those parents or whoever may let them go to the living room, go upstairs in the room and just take their shoes off and slide through my house with their socks on, listen, you're not doing that here, baby. Go ahead, have a seat. You want to drink, you get whatever. I'll be real nice to you and all of those things. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to hold a hand. We're not going to do, listen, you got all the time when you turn grown to do whatever you want to do. You have your whole life. You can go be, you know, the princess of Hoville when you get grown. But right now, while you here at this house, baby, you're going to listen, okay? Because when you get grown, you're going to think about all the tight shifts we ran around here, and you're going to draw it back in sooner or later. But if you start off wild, you don't know where to draw back to if you never even had that guidance from the beginning.
And let me say this too. I don't think that it's always not innocent, right? But here's also the thing. I'm sorry. We've done it. That's the thing that y'all understand. We done did some stuff under our parents' nose. We done did so it seems innocent. And then too, we know how men think. Boys and whatever. So we know that, hey, you give an inch and you go a mile. Oh, nah. Why we need to go where the bed is? Why we need to go where the bed is? You know what I mean? And I mean, it just depends on the parent. And it depends on how it's a slippery slope to go in the bedroom. I really do. Because here's the thing. You can watch a movie and bring food in the living room. And not to say, listen, I'm not dumb. I'm not saying nothing can happen in the living room. I'm just saying it's a more this is the family room in here. In there, it gets to be, this is more of a, because what you're wanting is a more intimate setting. Why do you need that? Right. Why do you need an intimate setting in my house where you got to be intimate enough to where we're going to go in my bedroom instead of the family room? You're supposed to be coming to see me to spend quality time. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a little space and whatever, but where we in here with the bed and we shoes off in this, I just think it's a slippery slope.
I'm not even talking about the bedroom. I'm talking about like even like going to your boyfriend's house, especially like whenever both parents or the mom is there or something like that. I just wanted like everybody's opinion on that only because like,
and let me say this too. It's a double standard. It's very, very different when it's your daughter versus your son. The son gets away with that. The son always can the son usually and I don't have, my brothers are younger, but I remember like my best friend growing up, when he had company, they could go in his bedroom. She could not. And it's just that old age thing of he can't bring a baby home. He can't. He cannot. So yeah, he can have one or whatever, but he can choose to. So it is, and women we are taught to conduct ourselves in a different way. So again, if it's the son, I don't expect the mama to be necessarily, unless I know her, to be necessarily as tight of a ship that I would think if it was a daughter. You know, I just don't think so. I think that they're always a little lax with the boys. Because let's be honest, most of the time the father's going to be, hey, that's my boy, attaboy. You get to listen, a certain age, the dads, you're a little proud of your son when he can get a couple notches on his belt. They don't care about my daughter that she was one of the notches. You think they care? I remember I had a boyfriend as a teenager, and the friend of his, the dad, will give them condoms. They will give them condoms. You think our mothers knew that?
Do we think that just the prevalence of social media, do you think that it has changed how we express our sexuality or the way that you may feel about sex, or that the parents explain sex to their kids? Do you feel like social media has a part in the expression of like sexuality.
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
The images that are shown, everything goes. My girls are Googlers. They will Google, like, I will say a word in the next room and they'll be, oh, mommy, I looked up this word. Like, so yeah, it's just pop culture, sadly, a huge influence in it. But with my daughter, I like to point out, when she have a question, I'll point out someone else, honestly, life that's not the best. And then they give her a clear view of like, oh yeah, like if someone did have, like, I guess had a bunch of kids and like are struggling, this is why you don't want to do that. And then she'll look at it. Even a crackhead, I will point out someone in our family really quick, like, this is what happens when you, and then that's real to her. That's real to her when she sees it. So she's even when she sees stuff online, pop culture, and then I give her the reality of it. The reality of it is this right here. And then she's like, oh, I get it. And looking at her friends' lives, so every time she look at her friends, she's like, yeah, I don't think I want no part of that. I don't. If I drink, I don't want to, like, drinking wise. She's 20, and she's like, I don't want to be so out of control of myself that I would do anything that I won't remember the next day. And I'm like, oh my, and I never really told her, like,
so good.
Like, it's been a while when she was young. I never said, oh, don't drink. Yeah. But I'll say, oh, when you drink, you can act a little funny and stuff. And she'll see her friends, like, intoxicated or an accident or things like that, just bad things. And she's like, but she's just afraid of, again, not having control. Yeah. She likes control, and she's afraid of not having control. So when she do see things on social media, she's like, oh, yeah, that was just crazy. Like, I wouldn't even want to do that. I'm like, thank you that you think like that.
I definitely think so. I mean, you look at you scroll online and everybody wants to twerk.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody wants to twerk. Everybody wants, it's everything is sexualized. Everything. And to be honest, it sickens me that, especially in the music or they don't mind being sexualized or objectified. And this isn't the feminist womp. It's none of that. But it's kind of like, yeah, I don't mind being, getting this attention because of my body or because I got a BBL or because nothing against anybody or because, I was twerking on camera or because I had my cheeks out. It's like, is that the attention that you want? They don't care.
Yeah. I think they're in a desperate stage of finances, one, because who would want more money? Yeah. So if they're thinking, oh, if I do this and I get my views up, I'm monetized, and they're not thinking about the future. Yeah.
I'll say, that with my daughter, she was into that show. What's that show? Baddies. That show is so heartbreaking. It's so degrading. It's so demoralizing. It's like it's horrible, and it comes to a point where it's desensitizing young women, young girls, teenagers, that type of behavior, right? Where they think that type of behavior is really it, and it's really not it. And so I had to really have a conversation with my daughter and let her know, like, listen, this is not real life. This is not okay. This is not the way that you're supposed to portray yourself. Like, you are a woman of God, first and foremost. You're a child of God. And you do not carry yourself this way. You don't even need to even watch it, honestly, because we don't even need it to deposit any seeds into you that someone else may potentially water those seeds and they begin to grow, because we're going to cancel them in the name of Jesus. Okay. And so we're going to protect our eye gates and our ear gates. And this is not that. So pull your shirt down, untie that thing in the back of your shirt, let your shirt loose, and come on out here now.
No, because like it looks so like dumb. Yeah. Like
that's what my daughter says.
I see girls at my school and it's like freshman girls, and it's like I be telling them too, like, untie the back of your shirt. Like you just look even more
like try hard.
I do that.
I told this freshman girl, and I saw them as like little sisters. So I'm gonna try to like help you and make sure you don't like people don't get the wrong idea about you, because that's gonna break my heart. Yeah. And also like just make sure you don't look dumb or you don't look desperate. Like I was like, people gonna think you look desperate if you keep tying your shirt like that. Like,
and let's just talk about what sexy really is, because there's this view. And I'm older, right? We're in the same age group. I don't know how old you are. I think you're a little younger than us, but my thing is, back in like the 90s, I remember it being a great era where sexy was you know, the girls who were smart and pretty and classy and, you know, eclectic. It was like guys respected that more. That was what sexy was. All this stuff, anything extra, they were talking, even by the guys, they were, now don't get me wrong, you can get knocked off. Yeah. But they weren't held in a high standard. At this day and age, this girl is kind of like, you know, I get held in a high standard for being, as Mika said, demoralizing. So it was, you are sexier when you're authentic, when you're not being a try-hard, when you're set apart from, don't get me wrong, and women, we all want to be desired, right? We like to feel sexy. We like to feel feminine. I'm not against that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you got to go to school or go somewhere dressed from here to here. But we do have to have something to say, hey, man, how am I representing myself, my name, Jesus, my family? You know, this stuff follows you. If someone, I tell Gigi, if someone, you die tomorrow or something happens and someone goes to your text, what will that say about you? Or she posted a song on her Instagram notes one day. I said, take that song down. And to you, it may have been a good song. But right now, that represents you. It represents you. And why depict yourself like that? And I think that these young people don't understand that this is going to fall. This is the internet. We didn't have that. This is.
These artists are making music to demoralize our daughters, and to make them seem like they're just objects. They are, they only like dance to it or whatever, bop to it, whatever, because of the beat of it. However, they're not listening to the words that are being sung from these artists to put them in that space of they're really like nobodies for real. But it's like, you know, I go left with Lord real quick. Okay, but yeah, that's it. Them songs, they just is terrible. They terrible.
So look, speaking of songs, and we give them a bad rap. But some of our songs, look, I'm not going to say
I was finna say, y'all are guilty of so many. Y'all just hit it better.
Some songs, they were kind of coded, because some songs I'll be singing, I'm like, wait, that means that. I get stopped in my tracks, though. Sometimes I'm like, this.
And you listen to a song from like the 90s, early 2000s, and they think it's more respectable, and you're like, no, this is a metaphor for this.
How old are they? How old is everybody? Because I'm lost.
Okay. So I'm 42.
I'm 17.
43.
And I'm the 34-year-old here.
Okay, so me and Kiki, we the same. Cause I'm like, I'm listening to they talking about the 90s. I'm like, baby, I wasn't even born for real.
Look, but that's true. I think a lot of the songs, just period, a lot of the songs is like covert messages, and like you're listening, you're just like, you want to do what? Like what? Wait a minute.
Okay, you saw. They still look nice covered up or escape. Now it's like you singing the vulgar lyrics, then the image is so you paint a picture, like the picture's not even painted, it's just there.
At least there was something left to the imagination. A lot of it, like a lot of the stuff SWV, like she's talking about, what somebody do, Or I'm talking
we had Pretty Ricky.
And I put on the song the other day, just kind of like, and I don't get me wrong, you said Eargate. I was just like, I used to love this song. And I was about 17, 18 or whatever. And I put the song and it was Uchi Wally.
Look, that was a song. Yeah. And that is real horrible. That song is,
Yeah.
I was like, Uchi Wally. I was like, but that beat was just,
so many songs I wouldn't even let my girls listen to. And I was like, at all.
I don't remember knowing, or maybe I just didn't listen to it. So you said the beat, but that beat is really, really, it's hypnotic. It is. It's a tool. It's a tool of the enemy to get you, because he knows what that does to, your psyche. But we give the kids a bad rap, but a lot of the stuff we listened to was equally as. But I think
y'all. Yeah, I'm mad
it's
about
just
that.
Social media, more visuals out now.
But let me say this though. I think what social media, when you're younger, it's a human need for us to be wanted, to have attention, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think what social media does is it elevates that. It's just like, it makes the access easier. It's just like, all I have to do is put a picture up and I'm getting likes or whatever. So I think it's natural to want to have like attention. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, I will never forget this story. So my sister is a few years older than me, and I used to just be like, oh, I just want to hang with you. Like, that was my boo, and still is. And so my sister was like very petite with a big butt before she had kids, and she told me that this dude smacked her butt as she's walking down the street. And she said, I hit him. She was like, I smacked him in his face because he touched me. He violated me. And so I just remember hearing my sister talk about that. And it made me realize, like, attention is good, but not all attention. You know, you don't want that to be the focus of why somebody's interested in you. You know, if all you see is my breast and my butt, that's going to have you thinking sex. We're sexual creatures. It's okay to desire that, but that's not where this conversation is going. So I need you to know other things about me, the way I present myself, the way that I dress.
Respect my mind.
Absolutely.
Respect my mind. Respect me as a person.
Absolutely.
And then at least you can weed out. I ask guys, what do you like about my daughter? I ask, you know, your boy, what do you like about my daughter? And
she's cute.
Yeah, if I hear and I red flag for me, and I understand you're, you know, a teenage boy, but if I hear she's so pretty too many times, red flag.
Yeah, like you said too many times. It's okay to say she's pretty.
I know
beautiful.
she's pretty.
Yeah.
I know she's beautiful. You know, she's breathtaking. Whatever.
Yeah, and I said that to I've said that to a guy, like, it seems like maybe you just want something that's easy. Because even like I can, as someone who's a very deep thinker all the time, and who I'm attracted to, like, mentally intellectual people. Like, you have to be very intellectually stimulating, or else I'm going to be very bored and I'm not going to want to talk to you.
She's telling the truth.
And so we're not gonna get nothing is getting accomplished by just even like PDA. I'm not a big fan of PDA. Like, and my love language is physical, like touch. You can ask my mom. But like PDA, that's just, to me, that's too much. First off, you're making me look weird. Like, nobody's gonna respect me if you see me walking through the halls and I'm just being touched on all the time. Like, whether it's by the same dude or not, it's still like,
good for you.
No. And it's also like, nothing is getting done, nothing is getting accomplished, and we're just touching on each other all the time. Like, nothing is being talked about. Nothing good is being talked about. No good conversation is being stimulated by you just telling me that you like me all day, every day. I know that you like me.
It has to be deeper.
Yeah, it has to be deeper.
It
Like,
has to
even
be
the
deeper.
way y'all were talking about, like, oh, I thought that a relationship in high school, it was to seal it, it had to be sexual. I don't see it like that. I see it like even walking through the halls, like, if I see a couple touching on each other too much, y'all must not talk about it a lot.
Yeah,
because
that is so true.
If I see a couple, maybe like
at the mall the other day, remember we saw the
couple.
Yeah,
guys, I saw a couple. They just inspired me because they were just walking in the mall together, and they looked like they were actually talking about not even like deep stuff, but it looked like
they enjoyed each other.
Like, what'd your grandma make you when you were 6? Why do you like that food so much? Like, it just looked like y'all enjoyed each other's presence so much. They loved each other so much. I was like, they're definitely so in love. Like, and like even in the hallways, like at school, it's like, I want to see the way you look at me or where you're looking. Like, if you're not,
where
are you looking at me like in the face?
Looking.
Like, are you seeing how I did my hair differently? Are you looking at my eyes? Like,
detail.
Yeah, I want to see. I like looking at what detail you're looking at.
Yeah, because if I see your eyes do it, it's okay to, I get it, you're a physical creature, but if I see those eyes too far here or too far here, we got a problem, because that means that you're looking at the wrong thing, or you ain't even listening to me.
It's easy.
Yeah, and if I see your eyes just wandering too much, it's like, you're not even engaged in my conversation. You're not, I don't feel seen. I like to feel seen in my like relationships, not even with like guys, but just people. Yeah, I want to feel seen. I like sentimental people. So I like to see couples who are like, I like the way he looks at her, or I like the way he's intrigued. Like, I like the way he smiles whenever she laughs. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
You pay attention, and that takes a little bit more effort than just like, oh yeah, she cute, or her butt is big. It's like, okay, what else? Are you looking any deeper?
Yeah, because now that's also not hard to compete with nowadays.
Right,
everybody gets fillers. Everybody wants a BBL. Everybody everybody can learn how to twerk, even if you have a flat butt. Like, it's just what can you do that other people can't do?
What is your skill?
Like, what can you talk about?
You know what? I remember, nothing against my mom. Again, y'all gonna be like, she's a mom basher. No. But I remember my mom put so much emphasis on sex and cooking. Sex and cooking is a big deal. But I remember when I got to a certain age, I was like, but any woman can do that.
Yeah.
Any woman can do that. That doesn't set you apart from that. I always tell young girls, well, what's going to set you apart? Because guess what? I know every woman think that she has the moon and stars between her legs. Oh, I got the best stuff. I got the best stuff. But you don't. Because when you have a lot of guy friends and you work with me, whatever, and you listen to the stories, some of the stories like, oh, so that's what she, oh, you know what I mean? So she could be a shit. There's always going to be someone who can compete with your looks, your sex, your tricks, what are you going to have that sets you totally apart? And I think that women don't think about that. Women don't think about, are you emotionally intelligent for him? Are you a safe space? Are you a nagger? Are you superficial? Or are you the kind of one that fixes him soup when he's sick? Or you know, they don't think about what's going to set me apart from this one. You know, and I think that and I was glad that I picked it up early on, like, but anyone can have sex and cook.
I do think putting effort into your looks is like something to prioritize. Not prioritize in a big way, but also prioritize because I think once you pair it with what you're good at and what you can, like, how you can mentally stimulate somebody, or how you converse with somebody, I think it also makes you more memorable. Like that one pretty girl, and she also does this, and this.
Right. You need to be a package. Right. You know, because it's just like anybody can put on some makeup, get some fillers, get a BBL, and you will be more attractive physically. Like, that's not hard. It's the internal thing that you have to work on, and that. Go ahead, Mika.
I'm sorry. No, once the BBL gets old, then what? Because that BBL is not gonna look like that when you get older. Like, it's gonna look bad. But I was just responding off of Gigi about the high school couples and stuff. Like, me and my husband been together since high school, but he went to a totally different high school than I did. But every day he used to bring me breakfast every single day before he went to school. He was in my school more than he was in his own school, and I don't even know how he graduated. Like, I don't know. But it was like our relationship was so, it felt like it was like, I don't know. It was so intense, like, for real. Like, and that was just at such a young age. Like, when we graduated, he was ready to get married. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I want to see what's outside. Like, I thought this was just for right now. And it just was so intense that when he went away to college, maybe I was devastated, like, because there's nothing out here in the world. And it's just like, it was, even while he was gone away to college, it's like the conversations and everything just were still growing outside of that. Like, it still was purposeful and meaningful conversations. And it was just like, man, it's I mean, you have to do it. But again, like, from when I was in school to now, times have changed drastically. Like, all we had back then was MySpace and AOL chat. Like, that's all we had. We didn't have all this other stuff that the kids have and communicate on. Like, we had to plug our dial up to the phone, it was just a lot. Like, they have, you know, and so it's just, the kids got to do a little bit more though. If they get off their phones and really have conversations in real life, it'll be different.
Yeah. We're going to segue because just from what you were saying, Gigi, from what you're saying, Shamika, the relationships is what we're naturally flowing into. And so relationships are something that all of us have had an experience with. May not have been the best experience, but we all have had a relationship in some form. What is it that you had to learn in relationships the hard way?
Communication. Because I felt like what I always said was right, and what nobody else said, their opinions didn't matter. It was my way or the highway. And I felt entitled to whatever it was, their time, their space. It just, the form of entitlement that I had, it was a delusional level. Like, it was like, I was delusional. Okay. And it's just like, going through that at such a young age with my husband. We weren't my husband, and he was just my baby daddy. Was just like, is that my husband?
Lord.
I was just talking about you, Will. But I literally had to learn to communicate effectively. And the only way that I was able to do that, I had to change my lifestyle though. Because I was in the street bad, like living in the world real bad. But again, once I gave my life to the Lord and really started living for the Lord, he began to change me from the inside out. So it's just, he brought certain things to the forefront. And I'm like, yo, I really was delusional. Like, why was I around here thinking this man didn't have things to do? And I'm around here jumping on the back of his car, hanging on the back of his car, and he's swinging me off the hood. Like, what is going on? And he still married me. So glory to God. We just thank him.
Mine was more like humility. I got married young, 19, and my husband, he was 22, so 18, 19. 18 and 22. He's 4 years older than me. And I just was like hard. Like I just had a hard exterior. I guess seeing how my mom handled relationships, she was in physically abusive relationships, seeing how my dad was in his relationship. So I just had I'm not gonna let nobody touch me, beat on me, or none of that. Yeah. So I was like, I wouldn't let him in like at all. And he just stayed persistent. I'm like, you kind of, if I would explain some of the stuff he did, people were like, oh, he was kind of crazy. But he was just so into me though, like wanting to know me. And I was like, who are you? Why are you being so nice? I don't need you to buy me this because I can buy it myself. Or, and then going into that adulthood, from being a child going to an adulthood. Again, I just was like, yeah, I was just a whole brick wall. And he was like, yeah, we're about to tear this down because no, we're not having it here. But yeah, I had to just be humble and be honest with myself, be honest with him. Because me, I'm like, why do I have to explain anything to you? I don't have to explain. But that was a part of communication that I just didn't know how to do from childhood. So yeah.
Mom? Oh, I'm going to say, like, look, I don't have that terrible story. Like, I had this guy and these niggas. I've had some great guys. My standards have always been pretty higher, you know what I mean? Even from high school. But I was very, very broken and damaged and, full of poison for so long. I could not commit. I refused to commit. I had a lot of lying, cheating ways about myself. I have passed over, messed up a lot. When I look back, like, man, that was a really good guy.
Crystal, that's home for me.
I really, really, or I kind of look what I did to him. I didn't think that would have that effect on him. I really, when I think about the relationship with Gigi's dad, I kind of, I'm about to fumble. Man, I'm just to be totally humble. It took. And it was a God thing. Yeah, I had, and we can when we had trauma and sexual abuse, and we didn't know any better. And I was a mom at 15, and then I got married, and it was a terribly abusive relationship. So yeah, I had things, but all those things really, kind of, I think they added on, or just kind of planted and watered seeds for me being this awful girlfriend, person, or whatever. So it really took me the long way around. Like I kind of feel like I'm kind of late in the game coming to. I've always been cool. I've always been likable. I've always been, and usually, if I make a call, they'll come back.
Listen,
but I'm just saying, as far as me being the total package of a woman, a healed whole. Oh man, I went to therapy. I did find God. Yeah. And I'm still, here's the thing, something Gigi says I love. You have to be a lifelong learner. I can say that I'm still learning. You know what? Here's a type of woman that I even aspire to be even on a better level. So I would just say, when you ask that, I mean, I've messed up some good things for myself.
Look, I have to respond because it was some of that in me. Like, I feel like there's a few dudes that I was just like, yeah, I fumbled a little bit. But when I looked, it was like back then, I was like, it was them. Like, they were just, why is he doing this? And when I looked at it, going to therapy and having life situations happen, you take a look at yourself and you just like, dang, no, that was a lot of that was me. And so you get to a point where I'll say the lesson that I learned was to speak, like communicate. Don't expect someone to know what you want or how you feel just because you and your girls feel it. Like us women from 16 to 80, we all kind of like, there are certain sentiments that we have that are just like similar. But when you're dealing with the other species, they're so different. They are so different than us. And it's just like, sometimes you have to say, I feel like this, even though we might be stomping our feet. Like, I could come in the room and say, what's wrong? Like, you're upset. They're oblivious. And so I've learned to kind of just say, this is how I feel. And when you did this, I felt like this, even though I'm like, I expected you to to get it. And that's hard because that's a vulnerable space to be in. That is very vulnerable. And I just like, it take me a while to get there. Like, I'm like, I like you. You know, we vibing, but to be totally vulnerable takes me a while. You know, it just takes me a while. So that's one of the things that I learned. Gigi, what have you learned?
I learned how much I like my solitude.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not trying to like name drop or put people on blast, but it was just like, I just kind of learned like, first off, I don't like people who like bounce from like dude to dude or girl to girl. Now you just look desperate and you look thirsty. So I don't really try to do that. It's not a bad thing in my opinion. It's just like, I might be missing out on some like good people just because I do get hit up, but it's just like, no, like for me, it's already a no, because I only had like one kind of real boyfriend. And he was a year older than me. I met him at church. And I just kind of let myself, like, I let a lot of stuff slide. And it wasn't even like just bad. He was a solid person, but I let a lot of stuff slide that it was like, I don't want to be with this type of person. And then it got me to the point where it was like, I'm also not a person. I was never an insecure girlfriend. So I'm not always finna be blowing up your phone or like trying to figure out like, where are you at? Or like, are you cheating on me? Like, if I'm gonna be in a relationship, I'm gonna be in a relationship with somebody that I trust, or I'm gonna be a trusting person. Unless you give me a reason not to, then I'm gonna just not talk to you. And it also kind of taught me like, before letting yourself get fed up to the point where you don't even care if you hurt their feelings, because that's how it kind of was when I broke up with him. It was like, I don't care how he feels. Like, he didn't care how I felt when he did this, and it was like a list. So it was like, instead of letting a list develop, just let it go before you.
That's really powerful, like what you said.
And now I'm kind of like really big on just like, I'm kind of quick to drop somebody. Not quick to where you don't have a chance to like be better, but at the same time it's just like no.
So is that something that you've learned, or is that something that mommy taught you?
Oh no, I had to learn it because I was dealing with that dude for like over a year. It was like a whole talking stage. He waited for me like to be allowed to date. So I dealt with him for that long, and then I also was like, then I finally started dating him, and then I was like, no.
That's powerful, like what you said, as far as just learning like your tolerance levels for certain things. Because a lot of times we have to learn that the hard way. It's like, sometimes it's only after you've been drugged through the mud that you're just like, okay, no, I won't allow that. And it's like, you don't have to get to that point, especially if you know it now. You just don't even step to me with that.
Yeah,
like,
and
have a seat.
Now it's like dudes, they kind of take it the wrong way. They're like, oh, like she's just very like on lockdown. No, it's not that. First off, I'm gonna be more guarded now because I don't believe in just telling everybody, like, anybody your business anymore. Like, and also, I forgot what I was gonna say. I had a lot of thoughts racing through my mind to word it right.
Listen, well,
it's good you have those standards and non-negotiables, because again, people go through so much stuff and then they're like, then they're learning. It's like, no, what do you want? What are you not going to tolerate? And they're like normal things. It's like, you shouldn't have to, because I feel like I was talking to someone And I was like, see how they are when they're angry. Off the simple things. And I talked to my daughter about how, if you're hanging around a guy, how does he treat like his other friends? Or if you do go out to eat, how is he treating the waiter? Like things, that's normal stuff.
I'm big on that. Like I don't like guys who seem disrespectful.
Yeah, because he's going to do that. Like he's going to do it to you eventually, and he shouldn't be doing things to make it look like he's cool or something like this. So have those lists. I mean, there are some things that you're like, okay, that's not realistic. But for the most part, you can get pretty much what you like want.
Yeah, and I tell guys too, like, it's not even a personal thing. I know from what I see and from like how I know you, I don't want to be with somebody like you, and I just don't want to hurt you. Like, I'm not gonna lead a guy on. I don't believe in that.
And it makes them step their game up, because a lot of them, they're doing it just to be in the cool crowd, and that may not even be how he was raised or anything. And, so it's like,
and intimidated. When guys are intimidated, they don't know how to, like, I have a very strong personality. I have a very dominant personality. I'm not masculine, but you'll be amazed. Like, some guys who don't know how to step, so he has to be this real cold macho, and I'm like, I don't need all that. I just be cool. You know, I don't even like that. I would like you to have a softer side, so you can appeal to my softer side. And you said something that I did learn that I'm going to have in a relationship. I need, and I think Black women, we have this so bad. I think we're so proud. We are so guarded, and we have all these walls up. And I think a lot of us aren't accountable. Like, you keep picking those guys. But I used to be one of those, like, I ain't finna tell him, he know what to do. And I had to go to marriage counseling, and she had to say, why can't you just communicate, this is what I need? Why is that so hard to say? They're not mind readers. They're not mind readers. But we expect them to be. He knew to do that. He'd send me what if he didn't? What if you're the first woman like you that he's had? But I think that relationship-wise, both, I don't want a man if you can't be vulnerable with me. If you're going to have a wall up and you can't tell me, baby, this is how I feel, and I don't want to. I was in a marriage like that. I don't want to be the only one open to feelings, open to emotions. I understand that you're not an emotional creature. You're a man. But I need to feel safe to come to you. And I need you to tell me good, bad, ugly, because I want to be the safest place on earth for you. In a place where we can, and if we have that, do you know how easier, hey, I'm feeling really insecure today. It's probably just me. It's not you. If you can really put all that aside and get back to the inner child in you and communicate with what you need and so they'll know what to expect. If you tell me, hey, baby, I had a real bad day at work and the Cowboys lost and so I'm a little on edge, I can work with that. If I tell you I don't like the way my hair turned out and you were snoring and it's the week before my period and you can probably work with that. The vulnerability and you'll tell women, I'm not saying that. Why? You too proud. You know, that's why God hates a proud heart. We got to get vulnerable and we got to get real. And we have to pick people that are okay with having that on both sides.
And that's the thing that I don't like. I don't, like, I can get vulnerable. Like, I'm like I said, I like to talk about, like, things below the surface. So if you don't want to, like, especially I like to, like, observe how dudes, like, handle their feelings. Like, are you throwing a fit? Are you about to, like, crash out, act like a child? I don't know what you're finna do.
Take it out on me, project.
Or like, or like, it goes hand in hand with dudes who try to be hard. Like, you trying to hide some feelings. Like, what are you so insecure
overcompensating
about? Yeah, what are you overcompensating? What are you so insecure about? And whenever I try to talk about feelings, whether it's my feelings or yours, and you try to shut it down, I don't like that, because it just gives off weakness.
Yeah, and it gives off that you're suppressing. And when you're suppressing something, it's like, you know, that pressure's going to come out one way or another, and I don't want to be a part of that. Hey, we all have our own. I have my own I'm working on. I suggest you do the same. And I like that one thing about Gigi, I like that she sees those things early. I really do, because she is a very layered thinker.
But I think that has a lot to do with you know, it's just, I think just you being open, because like the whole time on the interview, the last time I interviewed her, y'all, it was just so many references to her mama, and I was just like, your mama is your boo. Like, you know, but that's how I she
you alright. No, I'm really close to my mom.
Yeah, you can just tell. You can tell that the influence is there.
She said something to me the other day. Oh my gosh. I swear I was about to cry in the car on the way to school. She said something. And my mom and I, we text like whenever we can. Even during school, we have to lock our phones up. I email my mom.
Emailing.
And the subject is always, like, we have this thing, the subject is always going to be an inside joke. That we recently learned or something that we remembered. Like, I love that. So she said something while I was on the way to school. We were texting, and she said, don't ever not be close with me. I will break down. And I literally was in the car because my dad takes me to school. So I was in the car like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But I think it has something to do with both my parents. Both of my parents, like, I don't have shallow parents. My dad is he's like a genius. And
he's very smart.
He's very, very smart. He's always been smart. Even like, he didn't grow up in the environment around like smart or educated people, but he's still like, and he's very driven too. He's always been a driven person. So like, I like that about him. Yeah. So he's always been also very layered thinker. Not very, like, my mom is a more emotionally intelligent. I think that's where I get it from. But my dad, he's a very layered thinker. He's very, very observant. He pays attention to detail. He calculates every thought, it seems like. I think it's very cool how he
streetwise.
Yeah.
Because there comes that, you got your book sense, your common sense, contextual sense. That whole, when your parents can look at someone, or your dad can say, yeah, that dude is no good. Or as my grandma called him, he's shifty. Because I've been there. And I think
both, like, important. Both my parents have good discernment, but my dad's discernment is like God-given. Like, very, like, my dad's discernment is almost like, how
did you know?
It's how does he know for a lot of stuff. He's just, it's like his brain is like, he got it from the feds. But
but you know what, you have to trust your parents enough to say, okay, I'm gonna go with what they say. Like, even though, like, you're still under your parents parenting, there's gonna come a time where you're just like, I really have to make these decisions for myself. And so the fact that you are, you're still like leaning, or you respect them enough, right? Because you can say that you respect them, but it doesn't show. You respect them enough to say, I'm going to listen to what they say. That's wise. Like, my dad is always like, that's wise. You don't have to touch the burner or get hit by the bus to understand that you shouldn't have went in the street. I'm telling you, look both ways before you.
Especially if you just give them a good explanation of things. Like, my daughter, I'm like, this will happen if you do this. And my husband say, this will happen if you do this. And it's like, that's the truth of it. And so we're always just like, so that's so good that your parents are like that. Because that's how I had to dial back a little bit, because I was like, when I was going to therapy, I was like, I don't want to project fear on my daughter, but I have to be real and tell her this can happen. If you do this can happen. So she had to kind of show me ways of still giving her the information without projecting like a fear.
That's real.
But then with my daughter, when she was in high school, she didn't understand. When she started working a job around other people, other age groups, then she was like, Mom, guess what happened?
I do that.
I'm like, see, you thought that I was like tripping, and then like in therapy, I'm like, see, I wasn't wrong for just saying that, but I want to give it to her real, still not giving her like extra details in my childhood, which was some traumatic experiences that would kind of make her feel a certain way, but just shooting to her just straight, and then she realized like, oh yeah, that was real. I understand what you told me.
I do that with my mom too. I realize like, she doesn't think I listen, but stuff that she says, it's like engraved in my brain, and then I'll remember it whenever I make a realization. So it's like, even on social media, I see a lot of girls my age, and it's like they're so different from me, like in a good way though. Like, but it's like, y'all's mom, like, where? I'll be like, where is your mom? Like, I don't say it, but it's like, where are you? Like, right, I'm your age.
Because I asked her, where your mama? Like, she allowed this?
Like, it's a lot of stuff, like, even girls whose mom's like, I'm not even trying to diss anybody, but like, caking your face up at a young age, I don't believe in, like, I would not let my daughter do that. I don't do that.
Good for you.
And I don't believe in doing that, just because it's like, first off, to me, natural beauty is just way better.
That's because you have it.
But even then, like, even just regular, like, natural beauty, natural beauty in general. Like, I don't want to see, to me, a caked up face, it just makes it look like, what are you hiding?
When you do it too early, then it's kind of like you remember when you went through a phase where I said, hey, the lashes and the stuff, we're not doing that right now. And then I said, do you not feel pretty when you don't have it? You can get to a point where, you feel like you need these things to be beautiful, which is a dangerous place. I had like an eye infection last week, and I couldn't wear lashes all week, which I never do. I always have on, some mess. And I had to say, wow, you haven't done this in years. And I asked myself, are you okay looking natural face? And it was like, yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with enhancements and things, but you have to be okay with, hey, man,
how it looks.
God made my face like this, and it's okay as is.
Absolutely.
Enhancing is cool, and I think that when you do start that too early and start too much too early, you'll start depending on it, and then you won't feel beautiful without it.
Yeah, and I think I've always been comfortable like with natural beauty. I do have a thing for lash clusters. I love lashes, but but I like if my eyes are irritated or something, or if I just don't feel like it, like I'll rip them off like after doing them fresh. Like my mom will ask me, "Why do you take your lashes off?" Not even trying to be in a certain type of way, but she'll just be like you just did those last night. Why'd you take them off in the morning? And
she
it's like
so much time.
I didn't feel like it, and I'll just be like, they were like annoying or something like that. And I feel like she kind of likes it just because I'm comfortable.
I respect that because you're comfortable within your own self and your own beauty without. And I feel like a lot of girls too young are losing themselves in that. And it's very, because again, your brain isn't your frontal cortex has not developed, and you're so malleable. So I feel like it's kind of a slippery slope. So I'm glad that you prefer not to let me beat my face up, let me do.
And whenever I see a girl how their skin looks like naturally and how their natural pigmentation is on their face, it's so much better. Like it's so much better. Even I don't know, I just like it. I have an affinity for natural beauty. I think it's really nice.
Mika, do you have something to say concerning, or you said something concerning relationships, right? You got a final word around just relationships, something you may have learned the hard way?
I don't really have like a final word. I would just say that what everybody said was just really something that I can definitely agree with, and just say, because like I said, me having a child early and still going to school and still living my daily life, parenting with my husband. Again, he wasn't my husband back then, but it was definitely a task. And I still wanted to hang with my friends, in which, like I said on a previous interview that we had, I didn't have friends. My friends stopped being my friends. And their parents told them, like, don't hang with her. She grown, like, she fast and she has a baby. And so I literally had to figure this thing called life out by myself, while still trying to be strong and be a mom and all these other type of things. But my husband, my baby daddy, he was my baby daddy. He was awesome. He was like a phenomenal individual. And it's just that to see the I don't know, like it was just difficult trying to navigate all those new things happening at one time.
Yeah,
so it was definitely an experience.
Y'all, with all of the topics or the topics that we've discussed, I know somebody has a comment or just some additional like feedback. Make sure that y'all are liking, that you're commenting, and you're sharing, and also subscribe to the channel. So as we get to the closing, and I just feel like we need to do like a part 2. Okay, I feel like we need to do a part 2. So if anybody watching this, if you have a topic that you may want to hear, a woman's perspective, a teen's perspective, someone who's been through a little bit of life, just put it in the comments and we'll possibly make an episode out of it. So with all of us here on the panel and virtually, we all have different life experiences, different ages. What is one thing that you feel that maybe the older generation got wrong when it came to womanhood, or the younger generation is unaware of that you want to share? So just any like little tidbits of wisdom for
Go first.
You want to go first?
For a woman. Yes, Miss
I think
Deidre.
girls my age just think the wrong stuff is attractive. Like being obnoxious, being like, and this is like
Not obnoxious.
both genders. I don't like obnoxious. Like this is not elementary school.
She sounds like my daughter.
Like
we're grown.
That whole like being obnoxious, trying to be funny. Like first off, humor comes naturally. You're gonna make somebody laugh when you least expect it. So that whole like trying to be funny, trying to always be the center of attention, trying to always be loud, like nobody's looking at that. I'm looking at the person who's like in the back of the friend group reading a book, like something like that. But or even like I said, caking up your face, or even since I'm their age, maybe I can see right through like their thoughts and how like their mindset is, their thought process. But even not even wearing less clothing, like you look like you're trying too hard. You
so
look like you are aiming to be something that you're not. And I don't like trying too hard and looking like you're not yourself. Like I don't, just be yourself. That's what I think.
Crystal LaShore.
I think for both generations, just as women in general, I think that we're unaware that your power is your femininity. And I think, it's fine to get degrees in your career and all those things, but to be honest, most men don't care about any of those things. It's nice, it's a bonus, it's great for your accomplishment, but your true power is your ability to know how to be a strong partner and a submissive partner and a partner who listens, and a woman who can be soft, and a woman who can be, what God intended you to be is feminine. And feminine doesn't mean weak. Feminine doesn't mean, not smart. Feminine doesn't mean not creative. None of that. Feminine is not, there's a lot of power in your femininity. And the more feminine and soft you are, the more he will listen to you. The more his guard is down. The more he, I hear women, you want him to come home, Well, what are you doing to make him want to come home? What makes him want to come? And I'm not just talking because you put on something. What really makes him say, I cannot wait to go home to her every day? It is not a nagging attitude. It's not a cantankerous spirit. It's not you insecure about your own stuff you're projecting. And it's going to take a lot of accountability for us as women to really deal with your own crap and look at that mirror to say, I have to be my best self. And for me to be my best self, a lot of myself is going to have to get up out the way.
Good job, Mom.
Sure.
Think about when you think about your future. Like I tell my daughter, 5 years from now, like what image do you want out there? Like don't do anything now that you know you're going to regret. Like sometimes we can't see that far, but for the most part, you still know. Like if you do a lot of foolishness, okay, 5 or 10 years from now, you can probably want to be a senator or a mayor, and then now you have these foolish things that you did when you were in your teens, or even the people you hang around, like not having a time. Like you said, it's not just in a relationship, guy and girl, it's like friend groups. Like, do you want to put up with this for so long? And then after a while you realize I just wasted my time being friends with this person. So think about the future in a sense of what do you want your life to look like? What do you want to have learned, or stopping yourself from going through these traumatic event? We don't have to learn from our mistakes. Just don't make the mistakes. Or it's
good.
like, so it's kind of
Okay. Very deep, clocking all of it.
Just to make sure I understood the question, you said what is one thing that the prior generation didn't get right for us growing up, right?
That, or the younger generation, one thing they're not aware of, anything in that realm.
I would say from the generation, my mom's generation, I would say they swept too much stuff under the rug. They, instead of facing reality or taking account for what took place, they want to sweep it under the rug as if it never happened. And with that child or whomever it was grew up with some sort of trauma or some sort of brokenness, some sort of unhealed task that took place if they just would have addressed it head on, right? And so that child grew up broken. And so she began to parent from a broken place because she was unhealed from a trauma child. And so that kind of poured onto her parenting, into that child, that brokenness in a form poured into that child that she was raising. And so certain things weren't given, excuse me, certain things weren't given to her child because she didn't have it as a child. She can only give what she has. And so I would just say, like, man, listen, I tell my children all the time, whatever it is that you're going through, please let's talk about it. Let's get through it. Let's pray about it, because it holding on to it will never do anything but make a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. And it'll be harder to climb out of that hole if we would have just addressed it head on when it first, took place. And one thing that I wanted from my mom growing up was hugs and her to tell us that she loved us. We didn't get that. And so what I do with I have 4 daughters, and what I do with all of them, I hug them and I tell them I love them all the time. And I always ask them, are they okay? Are you okay? Just to hear those words, my children tell me all the time, like, Mom, we're fine, we're fine. But one day you might not be. And I asked you that so that you can tell me when you're not. I want you to feel comfortable enough and to know that this space with you and I is safe for you to let me know that you're not okay. Because I'm not always okay, but I'm going to, let you know when I'm not okay as a mom. Like, just give me a minute, let Mom regather herself, and we'll come back to this. We'll revisit this later. So, yeah.
I like that about my mom. My mom will ask me if I'm okay too.
Oh yeah.
Or she'll ask me, like, are you happy? Yeah.
I'm proud. Yeah, and just from the way, Shamika, that you talk about establishing a relationship with your girls, LaShore, the way that you talk about your daughter and the things that you tell her, Crystal, you and Gigi's relationship, I like the fact that I think now the mothers of teenagers or like young girls in their 20s, I think they've learned the lesson that you said that our parents should have learned. It's just like, if there's something that you need to work through it so that you can parent and mother me, better. Like, not from, we all are broken in a sense, but it's just like from a more healed place, I guess you would say, a more healed place. And I like the fact that y'all are opening spaces for your daughters, because a lot of times I don't think that, sometimes it's not there.
Well, let me say this. I know we're going to close, but let's be fair. It's hard to teach. You can't teach something you don't know. So I feel like we give the other generation a bad rap, and I've been through it before. Like, you didn't do this and you didn't hug. Well, I didn't know to hug and kiss you. Because if you talk to my oldest daughter, her story is different from Gigi's. Not necessarily that I wasn't affectionate. She wasn't a very affectionate child, but I was a teenage mom. If you think I did it all right, I don't know what universe you're living in. So I think that we have to give ourselves grace and give your parents grace, because then your child gets up and you didn't do this and you didn't do this and you didn't do this, and it's, I'm sorry, but I can't do anything about it. I can't give you what I didn't know. I can't give you what wasn't taught to me, and I definitely can't do anything about it now. So I'm sorry you had to go through that. But, and it's kind of like this, we can name 500 things that our parents did wrong, and we'll never give the credit to the 10,000 things they did right. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've given my mom a lot of bad rap myself on she this, she that, she this. But then I think, why would she know that? Who was going to teach her that? My grandmother came from a different time. And, so they did all they knew to do. And we have to, because at the end of the day, you know what's going to happen? Our kids, as much as we try in this, I bet you our child can probably still come up with a list of, you didn't do this. You were never going to be the perfect parent, because if they had the perfect parent, they wouldn't need God.
Because parenting doesn't come with rules. You learn as you go, and each child, and all of my children have the same mom and dad, and each of them are different. Each child is different. I have to parent each child differently. Like, my first child, she is just straight. I can yell, fuss at her, kick the door in. She's looking at me like, you're doing too much. And my second child, if I yell at all, she's crying her eyes out. Yes. So it's like my third child is the same. Like my fourth child is my no limit soldier. And she's jumping off the top rope and I can yell, scream at her, and she's still looking at me like, what are you doing?
Lady.
Like, relax, you're doing a lot. And it's just like, you know, and each of them are different. And I definitely can agree with you on that, Crystal. But it's just that, you know, like you said, we do a lot of things 1,000% for our children, and some things that we don't do. And that's true. However, it's like when you bring it to your parent and let them know now that you're an adult that this is how it made me feel, and I couldn't address it with you when I was a child because I would have been told that I'm being disrespectful, lower my tone, and you don't say anything to me. You know, like you don't address those things to me. And so now you're harboring those feelings that you wanted to release at that moment, but you knew that you was going to potentially get chastised for. And so now that grew some sort of resentment towards your parent because I felt like it was something small and we could have just probably nipped it in the bud right then, but you were told not to say anything, you know? And so that's why I have that such open communication with my daughters because I don't never want you to feel like you're too scared to speak to me or address whatever it is that you're going through because I'm here to listen. I'm your parent. Now, I don't know anything. And if I yell at you and I'm wrong, I'm going to apologize to my children because that's something that parents don't do. They don't apologize to their children. They always think that they're right. And sometimes they be dead wrong. Yeah, dead wrong. So you got to suck that up like, you know what, daughter? It's hard to do, but it's good for them to hear from you because you're not perfect. You know, you learn it as you go. There's no rule book and no guide parenting 101. No, because what worked for that person that wrote that book might not work for my child.
And it doesn't work for two. Like you said something, you have 4 children and they have the same parents. They don't. We're different parents to each children because that's like true. If you should hear my daughters talk, they would say, well, you had that crystal, I had this crystal. And here's the thing, that makes sense. You know why? Yeah. Because since you're this type, I'm this way with you. Since you're this type, I'm this way with you. Now, there's going to be, in general, mom is mom. But we don't understand, like, different children. Any relationships. If I talk to 2 of your ex-boyfriends, they may have got 2 different versions of you based on what, you know. So absolutely, even as parents, you don't love them the same because they need so many different things. So I think that, again, with parenting, we're still new at a lot of this. I'm parenting a teenager in 2025. I don't necessarily know how to do that the correct way. I didn't have social media. We didn't have pocket computers. We didn't have, the suicide rate. We didn't have LGBTQ being a movement. We didn't have any of that stuff. And so it's just kind of like it has to. Sometimes I go to God, all the time, and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is your child. You're going to have to help, and I have to have humility. Oh, I know that. No, I don't. This is my first time
after 18, almost.
This is my first time doing so much of it, even still, and that's okay.
Yeah,
ladies. Like I said, I think the conversation we could talk for days. And I told y'all when I chose these ladies, I knew that I didn't have to send them questions to help prep. Like I knew if I gave them a topic, it was going to get the conversation going. So I think that I'm going to do, or we should do like a part 2. If y'all want a part 2 of the conversation, put it in the comments, like, subscribe and share. I thank each of you all for taking the time out to express and share your views with the people, with the viewers of the Girl UpRising podcast. I was truly blessed by each of you all. And I thank y'all for coming out. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Yeah.